Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Environmental Services Committee meeting for Tuesday, June the 10th, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order, please, and ask if there's any declarations of pecuniary interest.
None known.
None here either, Mayor Hand. The prior meeting minutes were approved at a recent council meeting. Any questions regarding those minutes?
None.
Thank you. The next item would be the Environmental Services Health and Safety Report.
So there were no inspections. The management inspections were done, but the joint and health and safety ones were not.
Okay,
So there's nothing circulated this month.
all right. So we'll get to hold the next committee, or just one?
Just one.
For 2 months. Right, and that leads us on to item 9 under new business. That is the report of our Environmental Services Manager. Jay, the floor is yours.
Excuse me. Updates from last month. So for the digester project, basically reporting that there's been some communication sent between the CAO and the contractor. And then we're still working on trying to move ahead and get a solution and moving forward.
Excuse me.
Work management. So we have 3 full-time employees. 1 full-time is on leave. We have the 2 co-op students from the Lambton program. And then we're still looking at different options for some of the permanent staffing solutions and some of the issues that were identified during the QMS reaccreditation audit. Training, all of our staff continuing to do all the required training to get their certification. The health and safety is all being completed as per our village matrix through the health and safety coordinator. Certifications, all of the operators have the required certifications operating in regulations, and I continue to motivate the staff to try to get higher licenses. We did have 1 operator that successfully just passed her class 2 wastewater treatment exams and has her hourly requirements, so she's submitted for that certification. So normally it takes a month or so before they get around to doing it, but yeah, we did get that completed, so that's good. Treatment plan, all the regular maintenance is being completed in fact for our mesh work order system. All the remote facilities continue to have a routine weekly maintenance, general housekeeping done on their scheduled basis. The administration building, just the ongoing health and safety issues there. The new administration building, the engineer and his team are continuing to review and work towards that. Hopefully, I'm hoping fairly shortly we'll have some recommendations by them, which can be presented as needed, and then we can start having those discussions again with the building. The roof and ceiling in my office continues to be an issue with leakage, and again, it can't be fixed into the digester project. Environment Canada has requested to collect samples from the plant. They have an ongoing project. I think it's approximately the last 8 to 9 years they've been doing a sampling project throughout all these different wastewater treatment plants. They just realized that we had our own. They're going to start sampling at Sarnia's as well. So they asked if they could come and get some samples. They do want to do other sampling as well. I've been talking back and forth with them. They're willing to do a presentation on the program, kind of give council some information on that and what the program's all about and what their goals are. The only thing is the person that would do the presentation isn't able to do it after hours. So I'm told them I would try to see if we can at least get maybe the majority of the council if they're in there, if you're interested.
And what is after hours to them?
After 5.
Okay, so we could even start a meeting at 4 one day, right?
I have to double check on, like, I believe it's 5, but I'd have to double check on this actual person. And I think the issue is they have children they have to pick up after daycare at school, so they can't do the later, but I said I'd put it out and see if we can schedule something.
Do they want to do it in person?
No, it'd be an online thing.
Because they probably don't live here,
Yeah, it'd be an
so
online
Zoom.
Zoom thing. It would just be whether all council one are taking it or just a few, just to get the idea. And have some information on it. So I don't know. Jim can,
We can arrange something. I mean, your idea of doing it at 4 o'clock as a group would be fine, but.
I can double check and see if for work, I'm not sure how long the presentation we're planning on being exactly, but I can get the answers to that and see if they can get it done in time, so she would still be available.
And this is testing of the sewage coming in, not the effluent going out.
It's the effluent. They're doing testing on the incoming and they want to do testing so that the stuff they're gonna come and do first is influent. And then they'd like to continue on with it. It's the same program, but it's a different side of it. So right now it's checking for chemicals coming in. And they're looking at everything from pharmaceuticals to, all kinds of stuff going back out into the.
Right. So if they see a lot of one thing coming in, making sure that.
I think
it's
it'd be
enough one.
beneficial to hear what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah, but it's not a mandatory testing, right?
No, it's voluntary.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it'd be nice to get the information and down to the side.
Yep.
That's an option we have. Inspections for wastewater, we didn't have any inspections this period. Wastewater infrastructure, all the remote accesses their assets are in good operational condition. There were a couple road repairs done, and the curb work and stuff is now being all completed for that. Drinking water infrastructure, all the assets are currently in operational condition. And all the required work being scheduled and completed and tracked and mesh. St. Clair Street. Just a brief, going very well. There every day. We were up there today. They've got the water main in for phase 3. They're working on service connections, new service connections today. So it's going well.
But phase 3 goes from Alexandra up to,
Alfred.
okay,
Albert, sorry, Albert. We're soon talking with Cody. We're hoping next week we'll start disinfection of that water main, so.
and this is the new permanent water main, not the temporary.
Yeah, the new permit. So hopefully next week we'll be doing testing and we'll be able to get it.
I had a comment from, well, my wife. She walked the dog takes her on the route she wants to go, so they went that way, and she couldn't get over the condition of all the pipe that had been removed from the ground and how like bad it was. Like she said, I kept looking at it thinking, well, that's not what used to be in there. I said, yeah, that's all stuff they removed, and she was shocked at how bad it was.
There's actually further in phase 4, there's 4 separate current water main, like 3 abandoned, and then the existing. So if we have removed all of it, there would have been 5 water mains there.
So the stuff she was seeing was abandoned.
It was all, so it's the stuff that's coming out, some of the abandoned.
Okay.
Oh,
The stuff that,
that would make better sense than.
Yeah,
even the one.
yeah.
It's,
And quite full of sediment.
yeah, it's good.
I know
Yeah.
at one time you had talked about
Overdue.
that might be about a 2-inch line left. Isn't that bad?
Maybe not that bad, but there's spots where it's quite full.
Quite a blockage.
Yeah, but the biofilm learning is really making it down, so. It was definitely new.
Will residents along there notice a improvement to water pressure with the new lines or no?
Depending on their service going into the house,
Right.
that can still be.
Yeah.
Depending on what condition they're in, the pressure, the flow is only gonna be able to do what it's capable of.
Yeah, what a 5/8 or 3/4 will be.
What it's
Yeah,
connected to.
so, if it's an older service, especially if it's an older galvanized, we're probably not gonna see much of a change, if any at all. Anybody that has a newer line, yes, they're gonna see improved.
That's good.
The contractor's providing us a list of people with galvanized services, and we're gonna reach out to them directly and say, you know, we have concerns with your service.
Mhm.
Remind them of the program we have for. Just give them one last chance
Yeah.
to use the program if they want to.
Inspections for water, we had our annual water inspection done. Haven't got the draft report back from it yet. I'm assuming before too long, we'll see the draft report. And once I get that, I'll review it and make my comments back to the inspector, and then they'll provide us with a final. Stormwater infrastructure. Continue to work with Tormont Cat. To do the 2 backup emergency diesel replacements. All the equipment's ordered, contracts are all signed. We're just waiting for delivery of the equipment and for the install to start. The backup generator for Bayview, it's on order. We started doing pads this morning, so we're putting in conduits at different locations. Hopefully, if the weather holds out next week, we put the concrete pads down. And then I know they want to do the first delivery of one of the units on the 30th of the month, so hopefully everything can be in before the 30th, and we'll keep everything moving forward on those. Catch basin repair list, it's an ongoing list. As we get a few on the list, we'll get them repaired. There is one down here on Michigan that we've been waiting to do, but because it's so close to the law's transmission main, we have to have law staff there. That's requiring the laws to have other staff members there before they excavate. We had it scheduled, laws have to leave, their staff have to leave, so it's just a matter of getting that rescheduled with their crews, so we can get that fixed. Just some people may notice the pylon sitting there.
So it's right down at the end. here,
Yeah,
right?
so it's just a matter of trying to get the law staff scheduled again to come back. We can all get in there and get it done.
Wish we knew somebody there, but oh well.
He was on vacation
Yeah.
last week.
I said, I wish we knew somebody at Laws that could help
Oh,
us.
yeah. And just capital budget for 2025. Most of the projects have been started now. Vehicles and equipment, all of our vehicles and equipment are in good, safe working condition. Health and safety is just the ongoing issues that we've discussed before. We don't have any security issues, capital budget. Just trying to get a time that I can get together with BM Ross to discuss this discrepancy between our calculation and what they found at the Venetian pump station. I do want them to actually come on site and re-witness the test. So it's not us saying one thing, them saying another. So we have talked, we're just trying to work for the time that we can get together and get that. Then once that's done, we can get the final report.
And was their number low or higher than ours?
There's significantly more.
Okay.
Part of the problem is there's 2 wells there. So there's the main well and then there's like a backup storage well. The valve in between the 2 wells leaks, like it's not a full seal. So what was happening is while they were doing theirs, it was actually pumping the other well down as well.
Okay.
So we opened it fully, had our staff go out, we did it all. They're saying we're filling about 50% of the rated capacity with the valve open. It's filling 100%. But I want their staff to actually witness it.
Mhm.
Authenticated.
Yeah. So, just trying to get that scheduled. The backup generator for the storm station. So we started doing the trenching and putting conduit in today. The pads are going, so I don't know, I guess I already talked about that. Yeah. But just continuing to work on all the capital items, trying to get them completed before the end of the year. Helena Pump Station, I was all approved and was ordered to be delivered. I'm still working on a few 20 carryover projects. I do have to talk to the treasurer, try to get some of the had an issue yesterday with invoicing. Brian coding the invoices, they can't see the GL codes from the carryover from last year. So any of the project GL codes, they can't find them and let them in the system. So we're back and forth, and I gave them the numbers again. I'm not sure why they're not seeing them, but we'll get that sorted out. And then we are currently working to try to get an application in for some grant money for the backup diesels at Bayview and the generators. Just got some emails yesterday from the company that helps me with that. It's fairly short deadline to get the information to them, but do the best we can.
What, do you know what percentage they would fund approximately?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the parameters are on that one.
But it's obviously worth the effort to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we floated numerous projects with the people, and this was the one that they think we have the best chance of getting approval on.
Yeah, the date, the 26th.
Yep.
The final date.
Yeah, we did, so I asked the electrician and Summers to re-quote the Phoenician one, because if you're gonna put in for the grant, you know, we should add in that third unit.
Yep.
If we get the grant, we might as well have all of them in there, so it's been added. But I'll the quotes back for that, for budgetary quotes. And
So we're looking at total projects somewhere between like 800 and $1 million.
8, yeah, I'd say 8, right around 8, you would take a bit.
So, you know, we'll apply for it and see where it comes out. It's a weird, an unusual grant in that we can claim expenses as far back as April 1st of last year. So it's like, we thought about applying with St. Clair Street, but it doesn't qualify for, I can't remember exactly what the reason was there, but it doesn't qualify. But this project, like this one's shovel ready enough, but not gone too far.
Right.
And so everything is eligible. So we thought we'd put in the other emergency backup, because
Yep,
why
makes sense.
not?
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked about getting some engineering money for over Church and Simpson Street, but we thought this was a more concrete,
Mhm.
so. But yeah, the question, what percentage is covered? I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's 50 cents on the dollar, that's good to add all that, but
Yeah.
if it's only 25%, then we gotta be careful how much we add, but yeah.
Yeah, they never, I don't think they knew the exact amount. During our conversation, it was one of the questions that was asked, and was gonna get back to us, so. I haven't seen anything yet, but. It is an opportunity, so. I said if we do, it'll be a conversation that comes back to get approval to add that other unit. Reading feedback. Nothing with upcoming events, nothing. And just in closing, I do want to thank my department staff. They have been beyond dedicated in helping with the Michigan St. Clair. Being short-staffed, full-time people, you know, they've been working hours that they're not required to work. You know, they've been really putting out a lot of dedication and effort to make sure this project keeps going forward and goes well. Between trying to do their daily stuff and keep up, it's been draining on everybody. So I just want to put that out that, you know, kudos to them. I'll be honest, I don't think we hear that much from from any side of it. A lot of people, it's in the ground.
Yeah.
As long as your toilet's flush,
Yeah.
they're happy, and as long as their water's on, they're happy, so we really don't get a lot back that way, so I just wanna put it out there that it's appreciated that my staff are so willing to help when it's needed without, any issues, so.
And it's good for you to be appreciating them and asking for them to be recognized, so.
It's especially worth noting that, this was supposed to be a 6-month project last year. And it's another 6 months this year, so it's, that created a lot more work. So, yeah. Kudos to them. Okay, we'll receive your report with our thanks to everyone on the St. Clair Lake Street project. Financial statements, any questions on that, Mayor Hand?
No, I don't even want to ask, but I'm assuming the overtime's high, and I'm assuming it's because of the shortage of resources and the amount of work.
Yes, so we do have the co-op students.
Right.
They're still very new,
Mhm.
very limited of what they can do. They are a help for a lot of the smaller things that have to get done. But we've lost 40 hours a week.
Yeah,
Just regular work.
no, I mean, it's
St. Clair.
explainable.
So basically it's between Michigan and St. Clair, and then just the fact that we don't have that other person that would normally be there.
I did have another one on, I just.
And then from the reporting standpoint, though, are we tracking to try and keep it like offsetting? So, yeah, overtime's gonna be up, but the salary, is it comparable, the amount? Or are we gonna be in a very large deficit, like?
I don't think we're gonna be in a large deficit. It's not to a point where we're anywhere near
Right,
the full-time wages.
okay,
Um,
and benefits too, like, so between,
yeah.
yeah,
And I know it was one of the things that was discussed at budget time was, if we didn't hire a person to cover, there was that, we knew it was gonna be overtime.
Mhm.
The option was there to use that.
Yep.
That's why we kept those wages. In
Yes.
the
yeah,
budget
that's what I'm saying, yeah,
as well.
it,
Mhm.
hopefully it's gonna offset the increase in overtime.
Yeah.
You had another question, Mary Ann?
I can't, there was another one about a maintenance item. Yeah, what the mesh annual platform? Is that like a cost, like it's 124, is that a cost divided? over
Yeah, so-
Departments?
That's divided between Public Works and myself. So we split that up. There was some maintenance, we were using it for health and safety, and then it wasn't working the way she
Okay.
liked it, so she's no longer using it.
Okay,
I'm trying to, it might be over to, it's an annual fee, so there was people being added last year, to premium users, and things are being switched up. So over time, I've always been the one that oversaw the administration with Go Eagle. People were getting added and stuff last year, so we were paying for, because we pay annually, we had a balance that we had to pay on top of the quoted amount. So we now checking every once in a while to make sure
Okay.
people are paying that premium, because there's a significant amount difference between a premium user and a basic user.
okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Just to follow up on that, regarding the health and safety mesh module, have we revisited that? Like, was that a learning opportunity, like the mesh people? Because they said they're more than willing to help us learn how to use the modules. And he said Shelley didn't like it, but if other municipalities are using it, and should we be reinvestigating that because we're paying for it, yet not using it? There must be, if it's just an educational thing, a training thing.
Well, it's the way it's paid for in the meters.
Yeah.
Now, talking with Mike and even council had this discussion a few years ago when Abraham was here. about, having other departments, so like the arena and public works, to really start using mesh
Mhm.
as, like a work, everything they do, kind of like the work orders, creating work orders and documents and reporting. Having
Yep.
that digital information of what's being done.
Yeah.
And that, talking with Mike again, I think Mike wants to start using it, so things can be tracked, so many things that. You got a sidewalk, or if you have a complaint, a resident calls about a complaint about a sidewalk, you can go and make that note, you can add pictures. Put in that work order, did the lip meet that standard, or is it, is it under the standard? All these could take a lot of liability off the bank as well.
Well, even an example, like in the winter, a sign got knocked down on Light Street. And so staff went and removed that. And if they were in mesh, they would have made a note of that, and then it would have created a work order for the spring to put the sign back. So I said to him, like, when are you putting the sign back? And there's no record of it, right? Because they cleaned up the mess, but no work order was created to finish it. So I think there's a lot of, and when we had the presentation, council mesh people said, we'll come down and do a full training and educate. So maybe we need to have
Yeah, unfortunately, they're moving away from the in-person training,
Yeah.
which is, it is a negative towards them, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
They want to do everything online, makes it a little bit difficult, right? But we do have a part of the annual subscription, we have, I can't remember the exact number off the top of it, we buy so many hours of support.
Right.
That's training, any kind of help we need. So that's part of it, and we've been talking to eventually, I would like to see some of the staff up at the office here, instead of sending an email or a phone call, go in the mesh, make the work order. You can pick exactly who you want to get that work order.
Mhm.
So it can come to me, or it can just go to everybody in my department. Hey, somebody called, water shut off, or they had a water complaint, or a sewer backup. And then it's documented, we can deal with it. Okay, I want you to go do it, and I can reassign it to whichever operator I want. It's just a matter of training. You gotta invest the time and the money, and I'm not sure where we're at right now for.
And that's like with every software solution, it's all about training and removing the fear of the unknown of how to operate. So it may be worthwhile bringing in, say to Mesh, we want somebody to come here and do a full day with all our staff and troubleshoot. So I think we should make the recommendation that we're paying, it's got a lot of potential that we're not taking advantage of to modernize our workflow and all that.
Mike has been over, he's been over a couple times, and we kind of show him how and what we use it for, so it's just a matter of. He needs to try to figure out how he's gonna implement that and get the onboarding and get everybody on board. I know he has ideas for the arena as well.
Yeah. And get the health and safety back to.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what all the issues were. It is a lot of work to build
Mhm.
the mesh, but we went through it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time that needs to be spent creating everything and getting all the assets that you want and the schedules. But now that we've been in it for years now, ours is pretty smooth. It's for them to use it, it's gonna, I know they use it for the road reports, they use it for some of the other stuff. It's a good tool, and I know they wanna, like Mike wants to get it going, it's just trying to figure out who's gonna do what. Same up here, which staff members out here are gonna be the ones doing it. Jennifer was on it, Kara was on it. Right now, we're just trying to decide who's gonna all have access to it and then get them trained on it. But
Okay. All right, well, we'll hopefully see some action or movement on that moving forward. Any other new business, Marianne?
No, I don't.
Okay, Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. Oh, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
So we had the camera trucks come in today. So we cameraed the sanitary and storm from Michigan to St. To Alexandria. Now that all the construction was being completed, and they basically had the road base back down. So they cameraed it again, they flushed it, they were cleaning it. They have found a break now in the sanitary line. It's an old service connection. But below this where it was filled in. Below it now, there's a section that's broken. So we're gonna have to excavate the road and fix that. And then when they did the storm sewer flush, they found the old CSB pipe. It's not on any of the drawings. Nobody knows where it goes. But it has to come out.
What's a CSB pipe?
Corrugated steel pipe.
Okay.
So when we look at the camera, you can see where it's partially rotten on the bottom. But they don't know where it ends, so we can't come in from the other end. So Danny, was supposed to meet Danny 2 o'clock. I've already had slope guys there to view the camera work as well. So it's a good thing we did it, because otherwise we would have paid the road and got that sinkhole in the next couple of years. But unfortunately,
So we don't camera before the work.
it's a village camera numerous times years ago before the project started.
Yeah.
NYG had, during the project, NYG had a bunch of camera work done. Don't know to what extent or where all that is.
I think the camera work that MIG had done was in phase 1. I don't think they
Yeah, I don't know.
got.
They
She-
didn't get that far.
She did have some camera work done during like finding sewer laterals and stuff. I don't know to what extent.
You know, whether it was a full inspection or just
Yeah.
identifying laterals or
So
what
the
was.
one is the hole, the break that they found, it's a small hole that you can see it's like the water is running in, the sand's running in, it's starting to come in. So we have to deal with it. The corrugated steel pipe, I'm not sure why I wasn't on the previous, but
So do you just remove it from the, or do you
we're
repair
gonna
it?
have to remove it, and we're gonna have to concrete, fill in the hole and concrete it up.
And so wherever it's coming from, we'll just back up, is that?
We don't know, once I excavate it, try to figure it, we'll stick a camera down and see where it goes.
Right.
It's gonna be removed completely out of the road up to the curb.
Mhm.
It's basically right in line with the old, like the ramp going into the garage door at the OPP
Oh,
station, so I don't know. Years ago, if like they redid the ramp that goes up to the garage door. I don't know if there used to be a catch basin
no, it may have been-
at the bottom of it, and when they did that, they just concreted over it. I don't know who. I have no idea who did that, but way back when.
So if you could find the other end and it's capped at the other end, you wouldn't have to do anything, right?
Oh, we have to remove it,
Okay,
because it's rock.
right, okay.
So basically, if you don't remove it, what's gonna happen is eventually
Oh, it
it's
is.
gonna rot, and then all the dirt's just gonna drop.
Yeah.
It'll be the void end of the road, and then.
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah, makes sense.
The road's gonna come down, but.
But that makes sense if it's right across that garage. It might have been or there might even be would there be a catch basin in the garage?
It's a fair
Oh, is
size.
it?
Pipe.
Because they might have washed vehicles in there or something like that, or.
And it could be,
Yeah.
they might have they might have had a small drain coming out to a large one, we're not sure. The old sanitary, even like where it's tied in and broke. We're not even sure where it's coming from, it's basically right at the backside of Ice Cream Galore, like the hair salon. It's right in line with the backside of that building. So we don't know if there used to be an old connection years ago. But
So-
that was the whole point of getting the camera back in, is we didn't want to put the asphalt down.
So this will delay the asphalt again,
They're gonna be doing it tomorrow.
the asphalt or the repair,
No. The
both?
plan is right now, as far as I know, when I left, they were planning on having a second crew come in tomorrow. Hopefully to do these fixes, so that they can still do that.
Keep the schedule.
Yeah,
And then have we told Ice Cream Galore and others that we're not gonna be open tomorrow? Do they know that? Cause it's the weekend, right? It's when they're gonna be reopening. the
I,
road.
like, I literally just got out of the camera truck half an hour before I came in here. So I had texted Danny, letting him know this, saying we found this, we're gonna have to meet. I asked Cody to come to the camera truck right away. One of the both guys informed me there. So he came down so he could see exactly what we were looking at. We marked it on the, where it was. And then he was making the phone calls to, see if they get another crew in tomorrow to quick do the repairs.
But I'm just saying, the road is supposed to reopen tomorrow. Have we communicated with others?
I'm
that-
not sure, but I doubt it.
We haven't told them?
I
Okay.
doubt it.
No,
You mean told
nobody
them it's
else.
opening?
No, we told them it was open tomorrow,
Yeah.
and now it's not. There's no way because there's no pavement happening and now we're redigging. So we need to let
Yeah.
Ice Cream Galore and the Hair Saloon and the OPP and whoever else is in that block know that.
No, we haven't. I have not spoken to anybody. You guys were the first to hear of it, other than the text on the way up here, like just before I left. Let Danny know that.
But I'm saying we always knew it wasn't opening tomorrow.
Oh, we've known
Yeah.
since about Friday, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is any curb gonna have to come out then?
And we'll take it back to the curb and that'll be it. If it keeps going, then I'll try to get them to fill it with, with stuff, pipe up and just backfill it with curb or something, so we don't have to rip curb.
But we don't know where it's coming from either.
No,
So can we plug it off?
once we get to it and we can put a camera up and see where it goes, then yes or no.
Because the camera has a GPS thing with it, doesn't it? So you can see where it's,
Yeah, we can locate it, but right now, we have no idea where it goes, so we can't.
So it's not draining, it's going from east to west?
Yes. No,
Oh.
yes, sorry, it goes to the west.
Okay, so if it's draining somewhere that way, we don't really care. We're not cutting, as long as we're not, like I was thinking it was coming west to east.
Well, yes, it will flow west to east
from the OPP station to the
from the
road.
OPP station, but we don't know where it goes. Like it could go,
So we can't just cut it off then. We can't just block it off because we don't know what it's doing.
well, once we get to it, we'll camera it. And if we get in, it could be already blocked off. They might have just cut it off
Mhm.
years ago and left it there.
There's no sign that water's been coming through there. like that.
No, it shows like right now with the camera, it's dry, there's no water running in, but we still gotta figure out where it goes and we have to remove it. Or if it goes somewhere, we have to put plastic pipe in.
But it would have been hooked up to the sanitary or the storm. So it is no longer hooked up to it.
It's
Okay.
currently hooked up.
Okay, but it's got the rotted part, so it's not all making it into there.
I can't
Yeah.
even tell you.
Yeah.
We have no idea what condition it is.
Right.
We can only see a couple feet in,
Yeah,
and the couple feet in, we can see it's all corroded
yeah,
and rusted out at the bottom. Which that's what happens, so
yeah. So I don't use it anymore.
until we get down to it, then we'll figure out where it goes. And it'll fix it.
I appreciate the response from folks for an extra crew. That's very helpful.
Well, I can't guarantee you that.
No,
that's
but,
the plan. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but at least they offered
They're
to,
trying to get, they don't want to delay it.
Yeah.
Because if they do take the crew that's working right now and go back, it's gonna delay everybody else, so. The goal is to try to get everything done tomorrow, so they can still do asphalt by the end of the week.
And they're only going to the north side of Alexander Street. That's correct?
Correct.
So that intersection will still be gravel and a construction zone. The curbs are looking good. It's gonna be a nice intersection when it's done.
They're all pouring, they poured a bunch of the flat, like the actual sidewalks today.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah. And do we know when the signs, crosswalk signs are coming down to Livingston? Do they have a delivery time on that?
He's hoping sometime this week.
Okay. I was
As we said
watching,
this morning, that,
Yes,
I was watching some people crossing today, and it's just even a safer, people are automatically stopping because of the
paint.
step ladder paint. Like a lady walked out and the guy stopped, let her cross. So it's that paint alone is
Mhm.
giving some, creating more safety, but the signs will finish that up. Okay, anything else? Any other news you
Nope.
want to share?
That's it.
Okay. Well, better to get it out there and you say, deal with, I'm glad you bring with the camera before the pavement, but yeah.
And that, just like we actually are, because we found a couple bad in phase 3 when they put the storm connections in, they found 2 bad sanitary connections, which were fixed right at that time.
Right.
So they are working and doing camera work on all the new sanitary connections to the main. So as they continue on through phase 3 and phase 4, we'll have that all thought up. And it needs to be fixed. And then as soon as they're done, all the excavating work, we'll have to get the camera truck back in. And we'll do the same thing, we'll flush and camera the mains as well. 'Cause they're also worried with all the compaction from getting the road surface prepared, it could actually damage the old concrete pipes, so.
And when are you doing the liner in those pipes? Is that after everything's all said and done in a year or two type thing?
That was a neat thing.
Oh, okay.
I actually wanted to look at putting new pipes in the ground when we had the road ripped up, but. Her plan was, I believe she said in about 5 years, but. I think it'll be before that.
We wouldn't put the liner in for 5 years.
I think that was her goal.
yeah, I don't remember any timeline 5 year. I just,
It was just
after the project was done.
But she wasn't planning on doing it anytime soon.
Oh, I thought it was all part of the whole refurbishment that you would have new pipes, lined pipes, and everything would be.
No, I think, my understanding was she was thinking more of a 5 year, come back in 5 years and redo it, but.
Because then you could be at risk of failure, right? And
There is some, like, when they videoed today, they found some crackage through the pipe. It's not an issue, like you can see the concrete cracks, but
yeah,
I think we'll have to do the lining sooner than later if we're gonna wanna make it, make it a long-term fix.
and is the liner included in the scope of the project, like cost wise?
No,
Oh,
no. Originally, when the project was first being priced out, there was a number in there. And just a number, like not a engineered, fully calculated number, just a,
placeholder.
yeah. But the final quote that went out, no. Like it's not part of this project at this point.
Learn something new every day. Okay, anything else then? Okay, next meeting will be Tuesday, July the 8th, 1 PM in these council chambers. And we will go to adjourn. Thank you.
Just